Drivers, start your engines.
Welcome everybody, you heard it there from Dr. Dick Bergeron, starting the engines tonight in the playoffs here at the Stone River Outfitters Cup Series from Darlington Raceway. Not an official throwback weekend, but nonetheless there's some throwback cars out there. There's some playoff banners we got to talk about. We got all kinds of stuff going on. I can't do it all by myself. I'm joined with Ken Huber out in Montana. How you doing there tonight, Ken?
Well, I don't know, Scott. I'm doing pretty good, but I know you're one of those guys that could probably do it by himself. I think you did that most of the night at Indy, if I remember right. But no, it's all good here. Playoffs are here. We got 16 of the finest of multi-league drivers getting ready to hit the starting grid here at the Lady in Black. So kind of really excited. This is a driver's racetrack, as you well know, Scott. So going to be a lot of fun watching these guys get around this place tonight.
It is. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of fun racing tonight. The high banks at Darlington, one of the most unique tracks on the circuit from a driver's standpoint. Turn 1 and 2, completely different than turn 3 and 4, which is why I love the track. We got 4 minutes on the scoring board there for qualifying tonight, and we'll see who puts down who's going to start on the front row. You'll notice on the qualifying grid tonight, one of the changes for the playoffs here. The red numbers you see on the left side next to your favorite driver, that indicates that they are a playoff contender for the championship. So you notice those red boxes, you'll see those during the race as well, so you can keep track of our playoff contenders throughout the race. What else we got to talk about? Let's talk about maybe point standings. Ken, looks like they're working. If you got some highlights on the point standings.
Yeah, point standing. So we got our Sweet 16, I guess, as they say it. Justin Michael on the top. He's won, I think, 10 races this season so far. So that explains why he's in first place, not to mention a buttload of bonus points. Chasing him in second is Wesley Holland. Had a pretty decent season, 5 wins so far. Trying to run down Justin Michael in that 87 machine. Jeffrey Merck, kind of up and down season for him, but he does have 4 wins on the season. He's in third. Billy Bumgardner is out there in fourth. He doesn't have any wins on the season, but has racked up enough points to be in that fourth place. Greg Mall, Mr. Clockman, is in fifth. He got the 1 win at Martinsville Speedway this season. Christopher Davis, our Canadian, he's out there in 6th place. No wins on the season, but had a strong run all season. Pretty much stayed in the top 3 most of the season. Trent Drum in 7th place. Having an awesome season. James Hearns, another Canadian, teammates with Christopher Davis, as a matter of fact, is in 8th. And in tied for 9th place, Heath Smith and Jack Watts. Those 2 guys been running each other hard. And you know what, Scott? A lot of times we see those 2 guys battling hard on the track each week.
Yeah, no secret there. Should be another great battle tonight with those 2.
Charles Widner is out there in 8th, and I just said Widner. I meant to say Widener there, Charlie, so my apologies.
Put another
He's
dollar
out there
in the cup.
Yeah, and he's got a new paint scheme for tonight. I think Scott is kind of excited about showing that off. Vernon Margheim had a strong run last season, having a decent season. He's out there in 12th place, trying to get in that top 12. So because after the next 3 races, we're going to narrow it down to 12 cars. So after Vernon Margheim, these are guys that are looking from the outside looking in, and that's Josh R. Scott in that 32 machine and Rod Minton in the 92 car. In 14th, James 00 Brown. Good run for James. He's in 15th currently in points, and then Michael Melfield Jr. wraps out the top 16 in points.
There it is, your point standings, top 16. That is eventually going to be narrowed down to a round of 12, and just 3 races from now, and then a round of 8. Another 3 races from that point until we narrow it down to the top 4. Go to Phoenix for the finale when the actual Cup Series concludes their season as well. The format for the final race is that the first one to the start-finish line wins all out, wins them all for nothing. First one across the finish line for the champion. And yeah, it's a pretty big trophy. I was lucky enough to grab it last year. I'm actually looking at it on my shelf right now. Kim Quick put up for the series. I'm sure he's going to put up another great trophy this year. This is what it's all about. Time to get exciting here. Starts at Darlington. Playoffs are starting. What do you think about that front row there, Ken?
Yeah, I was just checking that out. Wesley Holland and Jeffrey Merck on the pole. So those 2 guys are going to lead off the front row tonight, at least for now. We got about 45 seconds left on the qualifying clock. The only car out on the track right now is the 13 car. I don't know if the 13 is going to have enough speed to get it there. That's Matt Rodoloso had a decent season. He came in late, so that's probably why you don't see that banner on that car. I don't think he has a playoff banner, but he's out there giving it his best, and see if he can get a lap in here.
He is. First one down, 30.055. Looks like the bottom of the board in terms of cars that have taken a lap tonight. I'm actually a little surprised at the amount of cars that have not taken a lap tonight. I don't know that the back of the field is where I'd want to start at Darlington, Ken, if I had the choice.
No, and I agree. You know, another interesting thing about Darlington is, you know, it is called the Lady in Black, and he can earn the stripe out here. But one thing, these drivers we usually have pretty clean races here because I think guys know how difficult this track is, and kind of there's a lot of give and take here.
Certainly there is. We're going to get set up here to grid them up here on the start-finish line. The drivers' meeting is going on right now as we speak. We got about 2 minutes to go through that. We'll see if the starting grid here is working. Looks like it is. On the pole from Punta Gorda, Florida, Jeffrey Merck will show off his car. We did some changes to that one, along with the playoff banners. We've got to talk about those throughout the race. Jeffrey Merck sharing the front row with Wesley Holland from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Greg Mall with a throwback car in the number 7, Aurora, Nebraska's. And Justin Michael, outside teammate from Martinsburg, West Virginia. Starting 5th, Michael Melfeld Jr., playoff contender. Outside is Heath Smith, another playoff contender. Charles Widener and Jeff Gilmore completing row 4. Eric Talent and Vernon Margheim completing your top 10.
In the 11th position is Matt Rotoloso. We just watched his final qualifying lap there. Rod Minton right next to him in the 92 car. Christopher Davis, another guy, him and Rod Minton are both playoff contenders. He's starting in 13th. Jack Watts, again, another playoff contender, starting in that 77 car in 14th. Just behind them, these are drivers that did not take a qualifying lap. So Billy Bumgardner will start in 15th. Christopher Howell will start in 16th. Trent Drum, 17th. James Hearns, 18th. Kyle Gretz in 19th. And Johnny Hamby in 20th.
21st, playoff contender James Double Brown from Mendota, Illinois. David Schreck in the throwback car. We'll talk about that later on tonight. Josh R. Scott starting 23rd. And I'm not sure that Kim Quick, our league admin, is going to start tonight, but he'll be sharing the back row with Chris Voiles, who I'm not sure is also going to be starting tonight. Usually he is the team captain in the Bandit Motorsports camp. That rounds out your starting grid for tonight at Darlington. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go one lap here in just a minute here, and should be an exciting time. 113 laps around the Lady in Black tonight.
Yeah, 113 very exciting laps, that's for sure, Scott. And as we see the pace car lead the cars around the track here as they get going here, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm really excited about this race. There was something I was going to mention there, Scott, about some of the playoff drivers. I'll have to come back to it because my memory is really short as I get older.
I'm right there with you. Maybe let's talk about the playoff banners, why don't we, while we got a pace lap going on here. Let's look at Jeff Merck's car up close. Your pole sitter, why not give him some credit? What you're looking at is the red windshield banner, the red trim on the front splitter, and the red rear spoiler as well. You can see Wes Holland on his outside, sharing those same attributes on his car. Greg Mall there in the throwback car in row number 2. Same thing, you see the red banner there. Justin Michael on his outside with all those wind stickers down the post. Count them, 10. He's tied my record. I don't know that my record's going to stand for another 10 races here, Ken, but I'm hoping. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's not hoping for that. He wants more of those wind stickers because that's going to put him in a good spot. Pace car ducks into pit lane as we're about to get the first race of the chase underway. Justin Michael's, or not Justin Michael, but Jeffrey Merck is going to lead us down. Got to get into that Geico restart zone, and they're away.
There we go. Jeffrey Merck has a great jump there into turn number 1. Full speed on the loud pedal. Great jump there. Wesley Holland about 4 or 5 car lengths behind already there, chasing him down.
Yeah, I'm looking back here just a little bit further back, side-by-side battle here. It was Eric Talent there up alongside Jeff Gilmore, but they got that battle sorted out. They're single file at the moment. Looks like that's what everybody did, Scott. They kind of like, this is a difficult track. Everybody kind of got single file here on the opening laps, very respectful. Got a battle here with the 77 and the 13 car there, Jack Watts and Matt Rotoloso. Jack Watts going by on the outside.
Jack Watts is one of the ones that is a playoff contender. He had some issues getting the playoff banner attached to his car tonight. in that Budweiser. Maybe because there was too much red on the car, I don't know, but it wouldn't take, so we're going to work on it for next week. But Jack Watts is nonetheless involved in the playoff contention here. So there's a vertical scoring pylon you see on the left side there with the intervals to the leader. Again, those red boxes on the car numbers to the left of the driver name indicate who is eligible for the playoffs right now. 16 total out of the 23 drivers starting tonight.
Back up front, I'm watching Wesley Holland all over the back bumper of that 60 car of Jeffrey Merck. For a while there, they were nose to tail there, and it looked like Wesley Holland was wanting that position, maybe making Jeffrey Merck a little nervous, maybe make a mistake and get that wall.
Yeah, I talked to Jeffrey Merck a little bit in the pre-race the last couple days, warming up and getting some practice sessions in. His idea for the championship was to play a little bit smarter on the head game, the mental game, and collect as many points as he can. He says he is done messing around. He is going for the trophy. So we'll see what he can do, because this is the first test here at Darlington. It is quite the test. Should be interesting to see if Jeffrey Merck can put together a race from start to finish here at Darlington.
No pressure, Jeffrey. No pressure. Speaking of which, Bandit's giving me a hard time again there, Scott, saying that I'm jinxing people again.
First one we talk about, right? There's Jay Smoke in the chat too. So let's go racing, boys. Hey, Smoke, I got to give you a shout out here, and let me know when you hear this. But we adjusted some volumes for you here at Multi-League Racing Network. We do stuff for the fans. You made a completely accurate comment when you talk about the volumes were off on various onboard cameras, so we went and fixed those. If you have a second, let me know how those sound to you, because I appreciate all your feedback, and certainly watching here at Multi-League Racing Network. Ken does certainly too, as we watch this battle continue to heat up. Wes Holland just buying his time here behind Jeffrey Merck.
Oh, Michael Milfeld Jr. back there in about 5th or 6th, gave the position up to Charles Weiner. Got a little sideways. I think he touched the apron down below, and that really unloads the wedge in the car, and those cars get completely sideways. And then just ahead of them, we got the 7 machine of Greg Mall going by on the outside of his teammate, 87 of our points leader, Justin Michael.
There it is. Let's go on the 7 car, Hooters car. We got to show this car off here. Let's go in for a closer look. Greg Mall, you got it. We put it in the Hooters font. I forgot about this one. We actually painted this one in the spring throwback race. The Fortune. Man, I should have put an Unfortune on there, huh?
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. But we did it in the Hooters font, because normally he is the Miller Fortune car. So we put it in the number 7 Fortune. It should have a little UN in the front for Unfortune, because he's had a rough go at the season so far, but nonetheless has made the championship hunt. Top 16 with that banner in the hunt. Greg Mall here currently running in 9th. No, make that. Where is he running? 4th spot right now.
Yeah, Greg Mall. I actually show him in 3rd at the moment there,
yeah,
Scott.
right.
So
Yep.
he's running up. Hopefully he's not burning the tires off. You know that this place can be extremely hard on tires. And what did you say we got? How many laps for a pit window here?
35 is what the word on the street is. So let's see, 35, 1 stop. That gets you to 70. 70 gets you to 105 with about 8 laps remaining. So a 3-stop race with 8 laps remaining, assuming this thing goes green.
Back up front, that 41 is all filled up. That Mustang is got Jeffrey Merck's mirror all filled up there, just there for a second. Thought he was going to attempt to pass here, but he's getting great runs off the corner and able to run him down by the end of the straightaway here.
There it is. We're on the nose cam of Wesley Holland right now. Some unique shots here as we go right up to the wall here in 3 and 4. Oh, gains a lot of ground there off the exit of 4 there for Wes Holland. Right on the back bumper. Let's see what he does here in turn 1. Gives Merck a little shove there, lets him know he is right there. He ain't going away yet, but he's going to think better for another lap to make the move.
Yeah, and looking back here at Justin Michael, I wonder if Justin Michael's saving tires. He's leading a train right now of about 7, 8 cars right now. Justin Michael, not usually known for sitting back for too long. So we are 10 laps into this thing, 10, 11 laps. I imagine he'll probably start picking up the pace here in another 5 or 6 laps here.
Yeah, let's watch all these guys bump together. Rod Mitten, let's see if I can find him back here. Looks like he was just bounced off the wall there in turn 4 as these guys all bunch up. It's really frustrating when you're in traffic like this, Ken. You probably know this. When you have a slower car that's maybe holding up a pack, and you want to go somewhere, but there's nowhere to go, but you also don't want to jump out of line because you know that guy right behind you is going to take up the spot as soon as they can. So, tough spot for all these cars here as Justin Michael holds them all up. We don't hear that very often here during the Cup Series, but
I think it's all by design. Knowing Justin Michael, I think he's sitting back there saving his equipment. It's kind of like one of those deals. I remember you and I racing at Charlotte one time. We got into each other because I was trying to give you a signal on the track. Hey, I'm just going to ride here. Just be cool on the tires.
I think I do remember that. I'm just thinking, go, 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 take every gap, and you, yes. Let up a little early, and I'll stuff it right in there, so yeah.
Looking back, Charles Widener has been slowly working his way up here in that 95 machine. And speaking of that 95 machine, that is a great looking Lowe's, kind of a throwback scheme back there, Scott.
Yeah, let's go back. Charlie actually sent me a... what's that?
Oh, nothing. I was saying he's back there in 6 under pressure right now from that 57 of Jeff Gilmore.
There it is, sharp-looking Lowe's Chevy for Charlie Widener, and yeah, he sent me an idea from a old Jimmy Johnson Hendrick Motorsports throwback car, and somebody's saying reckon on the front. Eric Talent, I'm showing maybe. This is a
still
replay.
Green so far.
Yep, there it is. Oh, Eric Talent, Rod Minton gets right in the back of Eric Talent. This is a replay, folks. Eric Talent to the inside wall, hard into the wall. No yellow. Awesome job by him to get that thing back onto pit road. Lap number 15, no caution. Great job, Eric.
Ouch, and Rod Minton is one of our points contenders there, too. You see that red banner. Oh, we got another car, 57. Just got totally sideways. He's behind Charles Widener. Trying to run Charles Widener down, but hit that apron and got that car totally sideways there. Almost lost it.
Oh, look, there he is inside, man. Glad this track is decently wide on the corner exits and there's no grass down there because Jeff Gilmore used up every bit of asphalt off of turn number 2 there.
Yeah, we got the Bad Apple guys out there in chat, in the YouTube chat. Give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell. Let us know that you love us out here, and we get more traffic that way here on the channel.
Bad Apple guys, go get him, Wes, he says. So we'll go to Wes on the lead. For the lead here, still looks like 6 100ths off the back bumper of Jeffrey Merck. Just pretty content with cruising here. Lap 17 on the board, roughly halfway through a pit stop here.
So I just went back to Justin Michael. He's back in 4th place. He's about 5 seconds behind, but I believe, yeah, he's still losing time right now to the top 3. So I don't know, giving up a lot of time right now. That pack that he was leading has separated itself out a little bit, so I thought he might be running these guys back down, but so far no dice for that Beretta car, that Toyota Camry.
Last time around for Justin Michael on lap 18 was a 30.29 compared to Jeffrey Merck's 30.1.
Yeah, it looks like Jeffrey Merck has wound up that rubber band and is now releasing it. Kind of got a nice lead out there, half second over Wes Holland, who is all over the back of him earlier. So Jeffrey Merck has found some speed here at the Lady in Black.
A couple speed cam shots here for the fans. 1, 2, 3 there, kind of spread out. Jeff Merck, Wes Holland, Greg Mall, 1, 2, 3. There's that pack is spread out, led by Justin Michael that we were talking about earlier. And then we kind of drift back to Michael Milfeld, Jack Watts, Vernon Margheim. Haven't talked much about him yet, but he's still in the top 10 up there.
Yeah, he's pretty much where he started there, Scott. I think he's off of position. He started in 10th, back there in 11th. Looks like Michael Milfeld Jr. is going just ahead of them, is going by the 92 machine, that Toyota Camry of Rod Minton. And makes that, and I will say this, Scott, at the start of this race tonight, or before the start of the race, during practice, Michael Milfeld Jr. is one of the fastest guys on the track.
He was, I think, kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, when we were watching practice session early, he was leading the practice at one point, probably for a good majority of it.
Yeah, he was, and then I don't remember. I think that might have been Justin Michael who managed to capture that lead lap time towards the end of that practice. But holding strong, Michael Melfelt started in 5th. He's now in 8th, so he's dropped a couple positions. Just got by Rod Mitten there just behind him in that Toyota Camry, but looks like Rod Mitten is trying to chase him back down. Can't quite get to him. He's going to fall in the clutches of Burnham Margheim just behind him if he's not careful.
That's true. We know Vernon, he is always ready to pounce. 1 win on the season, back early in Auto Club, California. I think race number 2 or 3 on the season. He was proud to win that one, and always a fan favorite, always a fun to talk to during the interviews, and always hard charging here. Looking for another win on the season as things wind down here. Last 10 races in the Stone River Series, Stone River Outfitters Cup Series. Looking on the inside of Ron Mitten, thinks better of it here.
Yeah, I seen that 33. I was going to say, sorry for stepping on you there, Scott, but that 33 got a little sketchy there. I thought he was going to lose it. There he goes to the inside rod. As they head down the backstretch, going into 3, it looks like he's going to make that pass. Going to bring Keen Captain Christopher Voiles with him. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. No harm, no foul. That 88 car gets by them both. Christopher Howell is up from his 16th starting position in that 88 car as well.
Yeah, Christopher Howell, we got to show off this car too. We did this one for Christopher a couple weeks ago. 1111 Racing 4 Veterans. It's a veteran project. And certainly appreciate everything we do for our veterans and support. So love that paint scheme. It's a Dale Jr. 88. Of course, he's a junior fan. We did his 88 in the style of 1111, but same style as Dale Jr. as well there. Got the win sticker, of course. No driver interviews because I was on vacation last week, but our winner from Daytona last week, Christopher Howell. Awesome job there. Congrats, Chris, on that win. And looking for another strong finish here, running almost in the top 10, trying to crack the top 10 here at Darlington.
Yeah, and he actually has cracked the top 10, so I think he's looking to crack the top 5 at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of running these
eighth.
guys
My
down.
scoring board is behind a little bit, so yeah, running 8th.
That's right. I live in a world that's behind.
I'm getting there.
So it looks like we have a newcomer. I'm looking at the 7 of Kyle. I'm going to mess up this name, so I apologize, Kyle. I think I'll just stick with Kyle, but he's in that 07 car. I haven't seen him. I haven't called his name before. Kyle Gretz, running around, and looks like kind of a throwback Benzoil, but it says something else on the front. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's going for maybe a closer look there.
It says
for
Sexy Waltrip.
Sexy. I was gonna say it reminds me of a Michael Waltrip, Johnny Benson type of throwback. It's definitely, that's pretty creative, I guess.
I thought we were getting our spam back in the chat there, only now he's on the...
Maybe it's been Kyle this whole time.
And he is in a heap of trouble right now. He's just behind the 33 car of Vernon Margheim. He's getting around the outside of Rod Mitten. And that was a bit sketchy. Those guys get through cleanly, and it looks like Rod's going to let him go there as they go into 1.
There it is. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm a big fan of paint schemes and logos and stuff, and you put enough effort where you're trying to make the logo look like something, kind of like what we did with Greg Mall's car. I mentioned earlier with the Hooters car. I made it in the Hooters font, but it says unfortunate, but it looks like Hooters, and I think things like that are kind of creative and fun, and shows a lot of dedication and commitment to the sport. So appreciate that,
Definitely. Kyle. Speaking of dedication and performance, that 87, that Beretta Justin Michael, I talked about him earlier. He was six seconds off the lead. He has now run it down to 2.5 seconds. He's made up over half, so he was back there saving tires. Coming up on Greg Mall, who's in that 3rd position, so he's looking to crack back into that top 3. And him, Greg Mall, and the 41 machine of Wes Holland are duking it out, and that 87 is closing up fast. And we got Wes Holland Sr. in the chat, wishing the 41 a good race. Says go 41.
Well, there it is. Dad pulling for son as 41 gets loose there off turn number 4. Forced to give up the spot to the two Bandit guys. Man, that's got to sting. Greg Mall and Justin Michael passing it on the inside. He's got no choice but to give up that spot. Tries for the crossover here on the big turn 1 and 2, but can't do much there.
Now we'll have to see if this gets into Jeffrey Merck's head. So I know that Justin Michael is a teammate of Jeffrey Merck. But one of the things when you're watching your relative and you're watching that car get closer and closer, you stop thinking about racing your race and you start thinking about that guy behind you.
Yep, and if we know that there's one driver out there who can get distracted by mental games out here, I hate to say it. You know what? I won't even say it. Maybe I'll just highlight the car. How about that? I'll just...
Yeah, let's let it go. So we're coming up on the pit window too. Now we're looking at the 87 on the inside, coming out of 4. Going to get this position as they head down the front stretch here. Give that second place position to Justin Michael.
There it is, looking at the back view of Justin Michael now with that red banner. Again, we talked about the red spoilers, indicate playoff contenders. The red windshield banners back there from Greg Mall in the Hooters car, as well as Wes Holland.
Everybody's pretty much single file. It looks like we've had a couple of cars retire so far, Scott. Looks like Christopher Boyle's never started. James Brown is off the track, and Eric Talent too, it looks like. So a couple early retirements. We also have some takers on pit lane. I'm just David Schreck is now exiting pit lane along with the 32 car of Josh R. Scott. So in for service. 92 just hit pit lane. That's Rod Minton. He's one of our chasers. And just behind him is that 77 car of Jack Watts, who's also on pit lane. So we're seeing it, Scott, lap 35. They're heading to pit lane.
That's it. Rod Minton, the playoff contender. Like I said, Jack Watts also a contender. Rod Minton overshoots his pit stall. I saw him back up right there. That's going to cost him a couple seconds.
And our leader's on pit lane, the 60 car of Jeffrey Merck. And Justin Michael now inherits the lead, so we'll have to see how long Justin Michael's willing to sit out on those old tires. He was able to almost run Jeffrey Merck down at this point, so he's going to be giving up a little bit of time initially, but we'll see what happens here. The 12 car on pit lane as well.
What I'd like to do, if we can, when we hear Justin Michael come in, this has got to be, in my opinion, Ken, I don't know if you agree with this, but this has got to be the hardest pit road entry to hit consistently and fast and efficiently. To me, it's here comes Justin Michael now. Let's go on board with him.
Oh, he gets sideways, but you know what? He saves it. I don't think that's going to be a bad time for him.
Wow. We saw the smoke. I was trying to change the cameras and got a little distracted behind the light post there, but Justin Michael gets it down, hopefully to speed and to pit road safely in that Beretta Toyota Camry.
Yeah, we have the majority of the field coming on pit lane right now. Wes Holland's on pit lane. The 155, Michael Melfelt Jr. on pit lane. The 95, Charles Widener on pit lane. So everybody on pit lane. Christopher Oils, pit lane. Greg Mall now exiting pit lane. Coming up back on the backstretch here. He's got a bunch of guys behind him, all on fresh tires. Got the sexy wall trip machine.
Sexy wall trip.
The 7 and the 07. Maybe sexy wall trip was attracted to the Hooters car, or the Hooters lookalike.
Right. Vernon Margine right behind them. All single file coming off pit road. Let's see. Here's Jeff Mark, who was our leader, right? There's what I'm looking for. Justin Michael just comes off pit road, off corner number 2 there. There is the gap. You can see it right there.
Now, ignoring the fact that Justin Michael almost blew that pit entry, as you were talking about it, Scott, and now I'm going to say that you're the jinxer. So, hey, Bandit Motorsports, you can start calling Scott the jinxer. But at this point, he gave up time because he stayed out 2 or 3 more laps than Jeffrey Merck did. So he was giving up time on the track. And so he's got about 2 or 3 laps fresher tires now. And plus, he was better on tire wear as it was. So I think he's still pretty comfortable with what he's got.
Let's not count out Heath Smith here, leading him. Has Heath stopped? My scoring is not working tonight, so I don't know for sure that Heath Smith he must have made a pit stop, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at that myself right now, Scott. Don't know. It's a good question.
So he's leading the pack right now. 40 laps on the board. He's still not coming down to pit road. If that is the case, hats off to Heath Smith here, playoff contender, coming from nowhere to the lead here at Darlington. 3 seconds on Jeff Merck.
I'm kind of wondering, Scott. I think that Heath Smith might have been one of the earlier guys to pit, and that's why he was able to get out front. And we'll have to see if Jeffrey Merck starts really running him down here, because he might be on an entirely different pit strategy.
Yeah, that's true. So maybe he made a ton of time. You know, the tire wear is pretty great here at Darlington, a couple seconds worth. So maybe gained a lot of time. Yeah, I'm showing the scoring now. 14.5-second pit stop. He's 13 laps on his tires right now, whereas Merck and the majority of the rest of the top 15 have been 4 or 5 laps on their tires. So yes, looks like Heath Smith stopped about 7 or 8 laps sooner than the leaders. As you can watch that gap there tick down from Heath Smith to Jeff Merck. When we started talking about Heath Smith, that gap was about 3.5 seconds. Now it's down to 2 seconds.
So I moved back here to the 7th position in the 7 car, that Ford Mustang of Greg Mall. I think he's gotten passed by those guys in front of him, at least the 07 of the Sexy Wall Trip machine. There's that group of 3 have really been duking it out here. So
you're seeing Jack Watts, Charlie Widener, Sexy Wall Trip, Kyle.
There you go, the 95 Charles Weiner looking at the inside of Jack Watts in the Bud machine. Trying to get that Lowe's paint job around both of those Chevy Camaros there. And give that spot to Charles Weiner.
Yeah, Kyle tries to take a look there in the 07, and Jack closes the door, says, nope, one is enough. And close the door on you, and Budweiser Chevy is locking this position up. 77 car in P5 right now.
So I don't know where I missed it, Scott, but the 41 of Wes Holland is a lap down, and I don't know where we missed it. I don't know if he got a penalty on pit road, but kind of surprised. I went back to see where he was in the field. He's currently running in 19th after starting in 2nd, a lap down.
I am showing his pit stop was 53.8 seconds. That to me screams too fast on pit road with a 30-second penalty, right? That would be,
yeah.
No, 40-second rather, with a 13. If you subtract 40 seconds from his pit stop, that makes it a 13.8 stop. So that to me screams that he probably got busted by the speeding police on pit road entry.
Yeah, tough night for one of our leading chase drivers. But you know, Wes Holland, he has the ability to find his way back. Although he's not in lucky dog position now, and we're not even halfway into this race, so he can drive his way back up into the lucky dog and then somehow get a caution. But right now, we're so far looking clean and green.
While we were talking about that, looks like Jeffrey Merck made his way around Heath Smith for the lead. Michael Milfelt Jr. is he a lap down now, I guess? Michael's got to be, yes, in 15th spot.
Yeah, another driver having a tough night. I'm actually looking for Michael Milfelt. You're showing him a lap down. I think I'm having a problem with my timing and scoring too, so trying to find him here.
Currently running 16th. Highest tonight was 5th place and lowest of 17th. Tough night for a playoff contender in the 155 Federated Auto Parts Toyota Camry, Michael Milfelt.
He's currently in the transfer spot should we get a caution, So I just got word from Bad Apple Racing that, yeah, Wes Holland did get a 40-second hold. So as you called it there, Scott, speeding in the pits.
Smoke says I jinxed him. I don't remember talking about Wes until it was after the penalty. Did I, Ken? I don't know.
I don't know. I think he might have been talking about me too. I don't know.
Looks like Kyle's riding the rim there. Getting some Darlington stripes there in the middle of turn 1 and 2. That's super easy to do. Let's go on board with Kyle. Why not? Roof cam just to show exactly how close these guys get to the wall. Look at Charlie right in front of him there, riding the wall off of turn 4. Here comes the start-finish line. We'll try to show you just how different turn 1 and 2 is from 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is more of a kind of hit the apron and all the way up to the wall. That's where the speed is from the sexy wall trip car there. That's a great line there. See how much ground he made on Charlie Widener there. Charlie Widener, sorry. And 3 and 4 is much more of a sweeping turn, more consistent line. See how Charlie chooses to kind of ride that late exit off of turn 4 and kind of gets a little bit loose off turn 4.
Yeah, I was going to say there, Scott, we take a week off and we lose what we're doing. Forgot what I was doing.
And just as I say that, see, I don't know that we're jinxing them, but Kyle's in the wall there again in turn 1 and 2.
I have a feeling what's really going on, Scott, is these guys are watching YouTube while they're racing, and I just don't think that works out very well.
I don't think so either. I mean, the coverage is excellent. Land from Days of Thunder. You'd be surprised at how much you can learn.
Well, back up with our leader. Currently almost, I guess, 5 seconds ahead of Heath Smith in second place. Heath Smith done a good job on those old tires. Justin Michael back there in third, almost 10 seconds off the lead, but I have a feeling that Justin Michael is going to start unleashing that car. I think Justin Michael is taking it easy on tires, and he does have a little bit fresher tire than Jeffrey Merckx, so we'll have to see if he starts gaining. He's under pressure with the lap car, that 13th, or he's holding him up, it looks like, that 13 car of Matt Rodoloso.
Yeah, to me, this screams that Justin Michael is, I don't know that he's in desperation mode, but him being 9 seconds off the leader of his teammate Jeff Mark, basically halfway through the race here, we're coming up on halfway in 3 or 4 laps here, he's got to be concerned. Number one, the race has gone green, right, from start to lap 54, which we did not see this in the spring. It was a caution-loaded race. Completely opposite style racing that we've seen from the springtime. So the green flag race here that has a potential to stay green until the end of this thing. 9.5 seconds. Ian Moore continues to pull away, clicking off laps faster than Justin Michael. Justin Michael has got to be concerned here.
Yeah, I'm curious about this too. So we are lap 55. You know, we go 70 laps per pit stop. So he's doing some quick mac 25 laps from the next pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. No, he's 15 laps.
15, yes.
So if he's going to start stepping it out, he needs to start stepping. But yeah, he just gave up another 2/10, I guess.
Yeah, to me, that just does not scream that he has anything for Mark. If Mark can keep this thing in one piece and in the right side, the rubber side down on the racetrack for the entire race and the right side off the wall, I don't know that anybody has anything for Mark here tonight.
Well, I moved back to the 4th position there. The 95 car of Charles Widener in that pretty lows. At least the left side of the car is pretty, so the right side, I think, got the Darlington stripe on your brand new paint job there, Scott. But having a solid run out there in 4th, he's starting to feel a little bit of pressure as that 7 Fortune machine starts reeling him in a little bit, and that's Greg Mall back there in that lookalike Hooters car.
There it is. Starting to reel him in a little bit.
Oh, and we do have the caution. There it is. Michael Melfelt Jr. in the transfer position, so that's going to put Michael Melfelt Jr. back on the lead lap. Not sure what happened here, Scott.
Wesley Holland, I'm showing. Let's see if we can get a quick look. Not sure if this was the cause of the caution, but Wes Holland in the back of a bunch of traffic here off of turn 4. Not seeing the incident just yet. Oh, those guys. Yeah. I'm not really sure what happened there.
I heard something. Maybe it was James Hearns, so I have to look. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't James Hearns. But I don't know what caused that.
I apologize. We're going to make some adjustments for next week, but my scoring pylon is not working as accurate as it should tonight.
I've had those nights.
Nonetheless, leaders down to pit road. Heath Smith. Give it to him. I love that strategy, Ken. Stays out late, gathers track position in hopes of a caution coming basically at this exact time, give or take 5 laps, where Heath comes in second place locks it up. Fresh tires with the leaders, puts them back on the same strategy. I love it.
I'm actually a little confused with my timing and scoring though currently with Heath Smith. So it looks like Heath Smith, did he pit? I guess he did.
Pitted right now, yes.
Okay, I see it now. See, I'm a little behind. I think it's just iRacing. I'm going to blame iRacing tonight.
That's the easy way out. Me too.
Oh, you know what? I wasn't live feature, so it's a special button I have here on my camera system that tells me that I'm not live.
There's the race off pit road. Jeff Merck beats them all off of pit road.
Well, that allowed Justin Michael. Heath Smith back there in second is no slouch himself, but that allowed Justin Michael, who had a 10-second deficit, back up front and is actually probably going to start the race behind his teammate, if his teammate stays on the low line, that is.
Bunch of cars coming pit road now. These are all the lappers. Josh R. Scott, Matt Rodoloso, Wes Holland, Trent Drum, Chris Davis, Billy Bumgarner, James Hearns, all down pit road. Michael Milfelt joined that party there. And Sexy Waltrip Kyle joining that party.
I'm just, I was watching the 33 trying to catch back up, trying to figure out what's going on there. Looks like he got caught up, and Michael Milfelt Jr. should be on the lead lap now, so looks like he's going to start this thing in 12th. Well, he's on pit lane right now, so actually probably started around 16th or so, but able to get the lap back. And the reason I'm watching that 155 car is because he was faster in practice, so now he's back on the lead lap to see what he can do. Just ahead of him, we got the 41 car, Wes Holland, who's still a lap down. Got one car ahead of him, Matt Rodoloso, to try to get back on the lead lap here, but and get that lucky dog position. But it's a tough road to hoe here tonight.
It is. Certainly, even if he does that, he's going to have a tough road with, gosh, how many cars are you showing on the lead lap? Let's take a look here.
Got 16 currently, it looks like.
Kyle in the Sexy Waltrip car running out the last of the lead lap cars, so Wes in 18th. So even if he does get the lucky dog somehow here in the next few laps, he's got 16 cars more or less to get to the front of this pack.
Well, lights are out on the pace car. Jeffrey Merck looks like he's going to take the inside there. It's going to leave his teammate behind him. Heath Smith on the outside in that one used that pit strategy to get there up in the second spot. In fourth will be Greg Mall in that 7 Miller Fortune car. In fifth, Charles Widener will start in the 95 Lowe's machine. And then just behind them, another Bandit Motorsports guy, the 88 car in sixth place, Christopher Howe.
That's it. You know what this restart screams to me, Ken?
It does. It screams it to me, too. Let's do it.
Here we go. We're going to crank it up, folks. Lap number 61, taking the green flag on 62. Jeffrey Merck, your pole sitter, looking for win number 5, more than halfway through race number 28 here in the Stone River Outfitters Cup Series. We're going to crank it up at Darlington. Enjoy the show, folks. Here we go. Johnny Hamby, it looks like, around in turn number 2. Rough take there. Let's rewind that and see what happened there, if we can. Hard hit for Johnny, all by himself in the 70 Pennzoil car. Almost gets, wow, tough hit there on the inside wall. A lot of debris flying. Almost takes out Vernon with him, but tough night for Johnny.
Yeah, he's got kind of a throwback scheme there too in that Pennzoil machine, kind of an old DEI throwback, Steve Park, Darrell Waltrip type theme going on there.
That it is. That's the Pennzoil. See, that's the actual Pennzoil logo.
Yeah,
is he teammates with? So we got the 7 of Greg Mall, we have the 70 of Johnny Hamby, and then we have the 07.
Oh, there's a theme definitely going on here.
Kyle. That's pretty funny.
Well, as they get back to the line here, get all staged back up. We only got a couple of laps under green here, so see, looks like I was looking at the 60 there. I thought he was just psyching everybody out for pit lane, it looks like. And then guess who just got their lap back?
That's Wes Holland. I'd wide and handsome around the outside, getting the lap back, lead lap, lock it up.
So I don't know. We should maybe talk to a driver since they're just going to be cruising around here for a couple laps. What do you say? What about Heath Smith? Is he down in the chat here? Let me see.
Yes, he is. Covington Motorsports. Here is Heath Smith for you, Ken.
Hey, Heath. You got myself and Scott up in the booth. How's your race going tonight?
Man, it's going pretty good so far. I had a pretty good strategy going there to maybe run top 5 here, and the caution come out. So we're switching gears now. We're going to change up our plan and see what we got here.
Yeah, so that's what Scott and I were talking about. Love the strategy to get yourself up to at least the 2nd position. You were actually leading the race there, so good timing. You're behind a couple of strong guys up there, so what are you going to have for these two?
Well, right now I'm just trying to not be playing ping pong ball with the fence here and keep the car in one piece. And luckily I'm just looking for a top 5, but maybe if some strategy and tires come into play here, maybe we can do something. We'll see.
Yeah, as they say, never give it up, man. Never give it up. So, well, you're up here running with the best, and you're in this chase as well. Strong driver in your own right. Are you looking forward to like next week? How next week's going to go for you, or this 3 race, the next 3 races?
Yes, sir. I'm pretty excited to get on with the chase, and I come from way back early in the season, and just to get in it, and now I'm ready to just throw down and see what I got, and see where I can finish in this thing.
Well, hey, thanks for talking to us, man. We'll throw you back with your team, and good luck to you tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck there, Heath.
Thank you.
There it is, Heath, with the Chris Durham show. Hopefully, Chris, if you're out there in the chat, sometimes you are, I know that. Give us a shout out here on Multi-League Racing Network. Chris is sporting both our logo as well as the Chris Durham show. Playoff contender in the number 1 Ford Mustang. Looking sharp out there in P3 right now with great strategy in the first half of this race.
Lights are out in the pace car, and Jason Hughes is in the chat, chatting up a storm tonight there, Scott. And if he's got all this time to chat, I don't understand why he's not.
Why isn't he racing?
Exactly. Well, to get us started, Jeffrey Merck is going to start on the outside. Took the outside position on his teammate, who's going to be on the inside, and that's Justin Michael in that 2nd position. Just behind him is Heath Smith, who we just spoke to, and then on his outside is the 95 car of Charles Widener having a strong run. Then just behind those two guys, you got Greg Mall and Christopher Howell. That rounds out your top 6 as we're about to go green flag racing again.
That is it. 2x2, 68 of 113. Getting down to this, about 2/3 of the race complete right now. We're looking at the Fortune Unfortunate car of Greg Mall on the inside of Christopher Howell. Who's going to win this thing? If you have a favorite, throw it in the chat. And Smokes is on vacation. I'm going to let you take this to green, Ken. I'm going to go grab a hot dog. I'll be right back, folks.
Pace car in as they hit the Geico restart zone, and here it is, that blue stripe on the wall. Jeffrey Merck gets away on the outside there. Nice start by Jeffrey Merck. That allowed the 95 actually to get ahead of the one of Heath Smith, who we just spoke to. Just behind Heath Smith, we're watching the 7 car there of Greg Mall trying to get around Heath Smith. Pretty much everybody getting single file. Our cameraman went down to get a hot dog, so pretty much you're watching the top 4 or 5 there. Still up front, Jeffrey Merck, followed by his teammate Justin Michael, who's under a lot of pressure by Charles Widener in that Lowe's machine. Still, we're going single file here. Looking back through the field, see if there's any other action going on back here. Charles Widener, though, having a very strong run. Looks like we were following mostly the 88 car of Christopher Boyles, who's currently in 6th.
Christopher Howell.
And just Christopher Howell, yeah, and just ahead of them, they got the 1 and the 7 duking it out as the 7 gets by on the inside of Greg Mall. Greg Mall gets on the inside of Heath Smith there, and the 88 is going to take advantage of that too. Oh, the 1 just taps the wall. We spoke to him. He said he didn't need to make any mistakes, and having a few so far there as the 92 gets under the 1 car as well.
Playing bumper tag here in the middle of 3 and 4.
I almost feel bad for talking to Heath Smith right now, Scott. I'm a little choked up.
Jack Watts under there. We haven't talked about him much tonight. Jack Watts trying to make a move on the inside of Kyle with the momentum. Thinks better of it down the backstretch, Boeing backstretch here at Darlington. Vernon Margai making that move on the inside.
Yeah, and Michael Melfelt Jr. making a move on the inside of that 77 as well of Jack Watts. And if you remember, Michael Melfelt Jr. came back from a lap down now. Currently finds himself in 11th, trying to get back in the top 10. And then further back, that's Wes Holland back there in 14th, trying to run back. He's just behind Christopher Davis in the 38 Wendy's car, seeing if he can run the leaders back down. Started up front. I think he started in, let's see, in 2nd. Yeah, so found himself a lap down, trying to make his way back up front.
There's the story of Wes's night here in the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Ford. Highest of 2nd, lowest of 19th, and currently running 14th. He's got to get off the gas quick off turn number 2, keep from getting the back of Christopher Davis in the Wendy's. Good Jimmy John's sandwiches chasing down Wendy's burgers here.
Yeah, and I'm back here. I was looking at Michael Melfelt Jr. He's trying to get around the 57 car with Greg Gilmore. Greg Gilmore has been having kind of a tough night tonight. He's up currently in that 11th position, but the 155 wants it, and the 57 is holding on to it. Michael Melfelt Jr. had to check up there and couldn't quite get it done.
Looking at the backside right now of Jeff Gilmore in the 57. Miller, like kind of a throwback car. You know, Jeff's a big Miller Genuine Draft fan, probably a Rusty Wallace fan, which I can sympathize with. I always grew up being a Rusty Wallace fan. Highest of 7th, lowest of 18th, and currently running in 11th here. Michael Melfelt Jr. all over the backside there.
I hate to say it though, Scott, I just watched Heath Smith get into the wall again. He had Vernon Margheim on his inside, and he got squeezed there. Vernon Margheim got a little wiggle there, and he got up into the wall. Jack Watts was able to get by him too, so Heath Smith is steadily going backwards at this point. He got the 57 of Jeff Gilmore, who we were just talking about, now all over the back of that 1 car. So that 1 car has kind of been struggling since the drop of the green flag.
Then he has 1 car from the front row, all the way back to 10th right now, trying to hold on to a top 10 here.
So we got 36 laps to go, it looks like, Scott. So they're within their pit window of doing their stop and being able to make it the rest of the way, I think, at this point. So be interested if anybody's going to be start short pitting or anything like that.
Yeah, Do you by any chance remember when the last caution was there, Ken? It was about 10 laps ago or so?
Yeah, I think it was about 10 laps at lap 45, somewhere in there.
45 or 60? I'm thinking like 68 or so, right?
Well, 45 to go, yeah.
Oh, 45 to go, okay. So, 45 to go screams to me a one-stop race, split in half. But if you do that, you also risk being a lap down in case caution does fly late in this race.
And he might have those takers like Keith Smith get himself on a different strategy and being able to get back up front.
Yeah, especially since he wasn't afraid to do it the first time around. The first round of pit stops, he did stop early, risked being lapped down. It kind of paid off. Those faster tires gave him great track position. Caution followed the great time. Came to pit road, second place, 4 tires on the same pit strategy as the rest of the leaders. Speaking of leaders, let's go back up front right now with Justin Michael, Charlie Widener, and Greg Mall here. Greg Mall all over the backside of Charlie Widener.
Yeah, he's looking to the inside there. Can't quite get it done. It's a hard place to get it done. I think these guys have been pretty equal, battling each other all night. So neither one can seem to gain ground on the other. Now, Justin Michael, just ahead of them in the 87 car, has only lost 2.2 seconds behind Jeffrey Merck. So in the 10 laps or so, hasn't given up as much time as he was given at the start of the race.
Charles Widener all the way up to the top side in turn 1 and 2. I'm sorry, that's turn 3 and 4. Gosh.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do some.
It like turning 1 and 2, like Diamond, you know.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do some wall riding. Hey, so I don't know if you watched the Xfinity race there, Scott, but I kind of caught some highlights, and towards the end there, they were having like an epic 3-car battle. Don't remember all the names involved, but somebody got up
that last lap.
I did, and they said that was a video game move. I says, no, you can't do that in a video game. I said, so if one of these drivers do it tonight and try to use the wall to make a pass or to keep their position, I'm going to call it a real move, a real race car move.
Exactly. Yep, I'm with you. They can do it on the track, and it almost worked for him. Reminds me of the Carl Edwards. Any big old NASCAR fans in the chat, let us know here at Multi-League Racing Network. But Carl Edwards, I want to say Kansas. If anybody knows the exact year, let me know. I want to say 2006 is my guess. Drove it under Jimmy Johnson in turn 3 on the last lap. Way overdrove the corner entry, up into the wall. Rode the wall, obviously lost the race to Jimmy, who just backed off and crossed over underneath him back in turn 4 for the win. But in the driver interview after the race, Carl Edwards had the greatest interview, saying that, well, he's seen it worked on video games, so he figured he'd give it a shot.
So while you were mentioning that there, Scott, I was watching Jeff Gilmore. He got by Jack Watts. And he gets a little sideways there, saves the car there. He didn't save the car. Oh, he did save the car. I don't know. So this is kind of his modus operandi for the night. So he runs good for a while, and then he loses the rear end of that car and drops a few positions. So anyway, well, I guess I just jinxed somebody. So
I was going to say, hats off to Jeff Gilmore for holding on to a top 15 here. I feel like every time we look at him in the cameras, he's sideways off one of these corners here at Darlington. Surprised he doesn't have a Darlington stripe yet, but through no lack of effort, Jeff Gilmore putting on a heck of a show here.
So speaking of short pitting there, the 41's on pit lane. I have a feeling he's going for it. He was in 11th when he came on pit lane. He was putting pressure on. He was up towards Jeff Gilmore. I can't remember the car, but took 2 tires. He's headed out to the track right now. The Wes Helen trying some strategy.
First of the pit road takers, which I personally like. If you're going to be behind, you've heard my strategy before. We've talked about this before, Ken, but if you can't beat them straight on speed, or if you get locked back in the race kind of early on in this thing, you got to pick a different strategy than leaders, because you're not going to beat them heads up. So
yeah, Wes Holland's
Wes Holland, yeah.
Wes Holland's not the type of guy that wants to settle for second either. So it's like all or nothing. So I was going to go for it.
Should be interesting. Keep in mind that, so let's note that for the fans, that Wes Holland pits on lap.
Sexy wall trip. Sorry for interrupting, but if you could go see the 07 car, his pit lane entry was not quite what Justin Michaels was earlier.
I think this is a replay right now. We're going to try to watch here as, gosh, that's him off of the front stretch. Maybe it's this time around here.
Yeah, he was doing the tango there, trying to get on pit lane here.
Watch
Gonna have
one
a
more
little
time,
bit-
see if he comes in this time on the backstretch. We're watching a replay right now. Oh, there it is. Here comes Sexy Waltrip to the pit road, all the way to the apron. And does the tango, like I said, to the inside wall, sparks flying, and Sexy Waltrip around.
And to rub salt into that wound, he missed his pit box too. So he was having a good night, still having a decent night, but lost a bunch of time and positions. Meanwhile, our leaders, both of them, Justin Michael and the 60 of Jeffrey Merck, are on pit lane getting their service done.
There they are. Right side's up on Justin Michael. I'm kind of find it interesting here if we're going to go 4 tires. We are. Beretta, Toyota Camry, 4 tires for Justin Michael in the 87 car, 4 tires for Jeff Merck. Who's going to get up first? Looks like Jeff Merck again. But I got to believe that Justin Michael rather, closed that gap as he goes for the inside crossover move on the pit road exit to the blue cone. Oh, give it to Jeff Merck on the outside, carrying the momentum.
Well, we have a new leader. That's Greg Mall in the Miller Fortune car in the 7. Somehow he got around the 95 car, Charles Widener. So Charles Widener currently running in second. So both these guys have stayed out. It sounds like Charles Widener might be headed to pit lane this time by.
Let's watch Charles here, see how his pit road entry goes. Off the gas early. All the way to the apron. The tough part about the apron here is it's so flat, and it's kind of a blind entry because the apron is so wide there on the inside. But to this cone, there's the cone, and speed limit 55 miles an hour for Charlie Widener in that 95. Lowe's throwback car there. We'll show it there. Look at you up, Charlie.
Most definitely. Greg Mall still leading this thing on old tires. New guys on new tires are going by him as Greg Mall heads to pit lane. So
Here it comes. Oh, Fortune, a little sideways. Trying to find grip on the apron to pit road. All the way to the pit lane.
So I don't know about you, Scott, but when I used to race here, I used to pull it off kind of late, almost to where that yellow paint line is, and pull it off late. And these guys seem to be pulling it on the apron earlier. I wonder if that's has to do with the tire model that sticks better on the apron nowadays. I don't know.
I think from my early days at Darlington, and I think the fans will appreciate this, but you're right. There's a late entry you can make. You can almost enter turn 3 kind of normal, and then kind of diamond it down into pit lane and try to get in there quick, but the risk, it's kind of a high risk, high reward there. But I was more of a fan of backing off early and then riding the inside of the apron around to pit road, but I don't know that it was necessarily faster. Charles Widener, I have a highlight that may have crashed. Let's see if my replay is working here as he comes off pit road. This is a replay of Charlie Widener to the blue cone, does a great job there, and everything looks up to speed. I think everything's good shape there.
Yeah, so I'm watching the leader now. He's in all kinds of lap traffic right now. Well, not the leader, the former leader, Jeffrey Merck. He's back there in 7th right now, a lap down, trying to run down Wes Holland, who short pitted, if you remember, with 2 tires. That allowed Wes Holland to be up there front with our former leader. Both these guys, like I said, they're both trying to stay on the lead lap. Hopefully there's not an incident, but racing each other hard here. Now Wes Holland's probably hoping for a caution with 19 to go. He'd be up there in this top 5.
You see the difference right now in the speed and the new tires from Jeff Merck. Keep in mind how many seconds Wes Holland was off after being off the pace from that speeding penalty and then catching the lucky dog, getting back in the lead lap. But right now, if I was Wes Holland, I'm praying for a caution right now. Well, maybe about 3 laps from now. Kind of like it felt great earlier for Heath Smith to get him back on the same pit strategy as the leaders. All kinds of sideways there off turn 2, trying to find grip.
Yeah, and if you remember, Wes Holland only took 2 tires too, so he's probably not have the best handling car right at the moment too, as Justin Michael now gets around him as well. Back up front, the Miller car, the 57 car, who's been we've been showing a lot of that car going sideways here. He's out leading this thing right now, so hasn't made his pits. Back there just behind him in that purple machine, we haven't talked about him in that Mustang, that's James Hearns, currently running in 2nd. Billy Bumgardner is back there in third.
Talk about Billy Bumgarner in that paint scheme. We haven't showed that one off much. Again, another playoff contender, but had trouble with his banner apparently. But Billy Bumgarner and the Pennzoil, that's another Pennzoil car. Is that number 4 on the night, I think?
Yeah, it might be.
Off to pit road, here comes Billy to pit road.
Pennzoil needs to start paying us.
Right? Or Michael Waltrip, either one.
There was a heck of a battle going on there. All kinds of lap traffic, interesting things. Michael Melfelt Jr. trying to make his way back through traffic. He's kind of got it all settled out now at the moment, but it was pretty hairy there. 77 now on the inside of 38 car of Christopher Davis. Jack Watts gets by that car. I think they're on 2 different strategies at the moment. 77's got fresh tires.
Man, you know as well as I do, Ken, when you talk about pit strategies and people pitting 10 or 15 laps prior or after another guy at a place like Darlington where the tire fall off is 2.5+ seconds. You gotta be driving out the front and the rear view mirror at the same time to watch guys coming up fast behind you. And this place, track like this, is tough enough to race just by yourself. You hear it a lot where drivers are like, hey, I'm gonna race the racetrack, not the drivers. And sometimes you're forced to watch in the rear view mirror as well and make it ultra challenging.
Oh, Michael Melfelt Jr. Back there trying to get back on the lead lap too, getting by the leader. Currently on old tires, taking Werner Margheim with them. So, and then the 78 is going to run up ahead. That's going to put the 78 in the lead right now. They're still on the older pit strategy right now. So even though the 78 might be leading this thing, he is going to need to make one more stop before the end of this thing. So I think him and Jeff Gilmore are both hoping for a pit stop, or not a pit stop, but a yellow flag at this point.
Yeah, those guys go back on the lead lap. Heath Smith and Jack Watts in front of James Hearns, one of our league admins for the Sunday Night Throwback Series.
And James Hearns does have one of the playoff banners, so he is a contender here in the top 16. So we're going to cut 4 in 2 more races. So the goal of the night is to not mess up your race tonight, and hopefully you're around for the final 12 there.
Speaking of which, I don't know if we've talked about the format for this playoff series, but basically every 3 races, we're going to cut 4 drivers off. So at 3 races, we're going to go from 16 to 12. 3 more races, we're going to go 12 to 8. And then 3 more races, we cut to the top 4, which go to the final race at Phoenix. First one across the start-finish line wins. Bonus points do count. All the bonus points that these drivers have accumulated throughout the season carry over from the entire season, as well as bonus points that they've collected throughout the playoff season through the first 2 rounds until we get to the round of 8. When we narrow it down to the round of 8, all drivers will be tied at 4,000 points. They accumulate bonus points and position points accordingly for those 3 races, but the previous bonus points do not count at that point for the round of 8.
Battle for the future lead here, Scott. Battle for the future lead up there with Justin Michael and Jeffrey Merck.
Side by side here, great battle. Let's watch this, Ken.
And these guys have been side by side this entire lap. So Justin Michael trying to get on the inside of his teammate, trying to get the pass done as they head into 3 here. Hard braking zone, and trying to outbrake him into the corner and get the runoff. The trick here is not to get down on the apron there. Looks like Justin Michael couldn't get it done there.
Great racing here. I'm sure Justin Michael is not done just yet here.
James Hearn, who is our leader, is now headed to pit lane. Didn't get that caution he wanted. We got 9 to go, so that's going to give the lead back to Jeffrey Merck here as we cycle back around.
I think that's why Justin Michael is fighting so hard here. He knows that this is, in fact, the battle for the lead of the race. Like I said, playoff contender James Hearns to pit road. That'll tick off here on pit road, but here comes Justin Michael making a hard charge with less than 10 to go here at Darlington. Awesome racing up front here.
And that's about we got just behind them, we got Greg Mall, who's just getting by his teammate, the 88 of Christopher Howe. So, and then we're under caution. So, not sure where that came from there. Scott, looking right now across the track. I don't see anybody going.
Holland, do you see, if you pull up Wesley Holland, do you see anything? Let me know, Ken, if you...
Yeah, let me take a look. No, Wesley Holland. Oh yeah, it was Wesley Holland. Yep. He got the Jeff Gilmore curse.
Here comes sideways off of turn 4. And there he is, trying to correct it. Sideways locks him up in the freaky fast 41 Ford across the start finish line, and yellow flag out for Wes Holland.
And I don't think Wes Holland is actually going to mind that yellow flag because he's kind of suffering there on that 2-tire stop, and that might have been why he got loose in the first place. So that'll allow him to get in and get 4 tires. I imagine everybody will be on pit lane because, and here they come. So the whole field, all the leaders anyway, lead lap cars headed to pit lane because this track is super abrasive on tires.
I could ask you, Ken, what's in your mind if you're driving here at Darlington? 2 tires, 4 tires? What do you think?
I've never been a 2-tire guy, so I'll lose the race with my 4 tires. That's the way I've always played it.
I'm kind of the same way, but as the laps tick down here, you got to keep in mind 6 to go. We're probably dropping the green flag with 3 to go, 3 laps. If you're somebody on the outside looking in.
Well, we'll just see. Jeffrey Merck, we're in his pit box right now to see if Justin Michael looks like he's taking 4 tires. He does. Jeffrey Merck's taking 4. So looks like most of these guys are taking 4 tires there, Scott.
Greg Mall, 4 tires. Michael Milfelt, 4 tires. I think 4
Justin
is the
Michael.
call of the day. Yep.
Justin Michael trying to beat that 60 car off pit lane. Couldn't quite get it done. So you know what they say, cautions breed something. I don't know what it was.
Cautions breed bourbon.
Yeah, speaking of bourbon.
Jay Smoke in the chat says hit that like button or I'll wreck your drivers next week. There's a promise. Chris Voiles in the chat says Carl Edwards did that in Kansas in 2009, he thinks. Chris, you gotta make me Google that. I say 2006.
How's Chris doing that, driving and YouTubing at the same time?
I don't know what Chris is. It's Chris Voiles.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of the 88 car. That's
Chris Howell, you're thinking of.
Chris Howell, yep. Well, Wes Holland's going to come out in 10th, and it's going to have about 3 laps to get it done. So it's going to be a tough road. But this is Darlington. Anything could happen. It can get crazy here in the closing laps of this race. So I'm kind of excited for this one, Scott.
Certainly. You also got to keep in mind, Ken, somebody like Wes Holland, right? You've been up and down the leaderboard all night long. Speeding penalties, lucky dogs, 16th, trying to make up track position. At what point do you kind of cut your losses and say, you know what, I'm happy with potentially a top 10 finish, right? One race in versus trying to win the race, right? And getting into trouble and then having a even worse race finish than you previously could have had.
I agree. That's probably be a smart move just to gain positions where you can get them and not go for it. Speaking of, you were mentioning Wes Holland, he came back from a lap down, but I also want to give a shout out to the 155 Michael Melfeld Jr. So he's back there in 5th, started the race in 5th, went a lap down, but here he is in the top 5. One of the stronger or one of the faster guys, at least during practice. So out there in the top 5, back there being a threat.
In 5th, not to mention Chris Howell. We haven't talked much about him, but showing his cards here late in the race with 3 to go when we take the green flag at Darlington. On the outside in that 11-11 Racing for Veterans Project. Let's go on board with 88 of Christopher Howell for this restart. See how it looks from his vantage point. On the roof cam of the 11-11 car, outside number 4, P4 here.
Going into 3, pace car. Hasn't ducked off yet, but 88 behind that 60 car. Who chose the outside lane, and that is your leader, Jeffrey Merck. Pace car ducks into pit lane as we're about to take him to the green flag.
Here we go. Waiting for it. You see the blue symbol on the inside and outside wall there. That's where the Geico restart zone is, which is in effect. There's Jeffrey Merck with a big run here. Justin Michael on the inside. It's a great run with him, and Christopher Howell trying to hold off Greg Mall on the inside through turn 1.
It couldn't quite hold him off. Meanwhile, just behind them, the 33 car, Vernon Margon, was pushing the 155, Michael Melfeld Jr., trying to push him up there. Looks like Michael got a little bit of bad start there. Just ahead of them, we're seeing a pass 95. Charles Widener gets around that 88 car as well.
Great pass there by Charlie. Gets some momentum off in turn number 2. Slides it into 3. Does a great pass there. Completes it. Justin Michael bouncing off the wall off turn 4. Just about. One more paint layer on that car. He would have been in the wall, I think, as he's looking for every inch he can. Gets loose in there in the middle. Turn 2. Trying to find every inch he can of speed to gain on Jeff Merck. He's been a dominant car all night.
Yeah, definitely. And Jeffrey Merck is going to be good on fresh tires, as you know, Scott, as we're about to get the one to go here. Kind of holding off that 87, trying to get the 87 is giving it all it's got, but looks like Jeffrey Merck really strong on those fresh tires now, getting it done at the moment.
That he is. I'm sure his wife's watching. Don, if you're in the chat, give us a shout out here. Watching Jeff dominate here at Darlington from the pole, leading the most laps by far tonight. Pit stops, green flag, yellow flag, you name him. He's beating everybody off of pit road. To the checkered flag, give it to Jeffrey Merck. Win number 5 on the season. Congrats, buddy. Looking back here in the finish, looks like the cars are wrecking. Christopher Howell, Vernon Margon sideways here. And, gosh.
Yeah, Michael Melfeld Jr., a few guys in trouble in that one.
Michael Melfeld looks like he came across the line in 5th place.
Yeah, so Justin Michael 2nd, Greg Mall 3rd, Charles Widener finishes in 4th, Michael Melfeld Jr. finishes in 5th.
When we take a look at, before we pull the winners, when we take a look at the unofficial results here tonight. And Merck winning, of course, win number 5. Justin Michael, Greg Mall, we talked about those. Charlie Widener in the throwback Lowe's car from North Carolina. Michael Melfeld Jr. finishing in 5th. Heath Smith running out 6. Billy Baumgartner in 7th. Christopher Howell in the 11-11 car running into issues late in the race. Chris Davis in 9th rather, and James Hearns running out the top 10.
Yeah, and Jeff Gilmore manages to hold on to that Miller car in 11th. Wes Holland closes the day out in 12th. Jack Watts finishes the day a lap down in 13th. Kyle Gritz in 14th. Vernon Margon finishes 15th, a lap down. Trent Drum a lap down, 16th. Rod Minton 17th. Matt Rodoloso in 18th. Josh R. Scott 19th, and Johnny Hamby in 20th.
21st goes to David Trek in the throwback car. 75 laps down, rough night for him. Eric Talent, 99 laps down. James Double O Brown having a rough night from Mendota, Illinois. And Kim Quick and Chris Foyles, I believe, did not start the race. Here's your finishing order. We're going to go, let's see if we can go live with Jeff Merck. We can catch up with him in a second. We'll be right back here.
We're getting them all in here there, folks. So just a reminder, we got Jeffrey Merck in 1st, Justin Michael in 2nd, and Greg Mall finishes in 3rd. So we're going to bring those 3 drivers up on radio chat here and get their opinions on what happened tonight.
All right, here is Greg Mall for you, finishing in 3rd in the Hooters Fortune car of Greg Mall. Here is Ken.
Hey, Greg. Hey, great job tonight. Kind of battled with a couple of guys at 95 car. How'd your race go for you tonight?
Yeah, Ken. Overall, it wasn't a bad night. You know, got into the track right when practice opened up, and had a decent feel for it. Had a decent feeling as to how the car was going to transition throughout a run, but somehow we just on our first green flag pit stop there, I don't know, got a little too loose there. I think it upset the car when I was transitioning onto the flat there, coming off of 3, and lost a little bit of track position there, but caught a lucky caution, that first caution, and got us bunched back up with the rest of the front runners there, and just was able to kind of maintain right around there, and his strategy kind of played a little bit of a factor there during the last half of the race, and managed to get back where we ended up starting tonight. So
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. You started in third and finished in third, and that's not too bad for the Lady in Black. So did you spend a lot of time practicing before we came here tonight?
Spent a little bit of time, especially with the some of the official series that iRacing has with the NASCAR iRacing series. We did that event on Saturday, and so had a little bit different setup with different fuel configurations, obviously, but just was able to turn some laps during that race. And like I said, we just had a decent idea as to how the car was going to behave, especially under the lights here at Darlington, and it wasn't too far off of what I was initially anticipating. So that definitely kept the momentum rolling there, and yeah, was just kind of able to stay in the top 5 area. And you could kind of tell with some guys that I was racing there during the later parts of the race where they were kind of struggling, and just kind of able to anticipate some of their moves and get by pretty easily tonight. So,
well, you're keeping those playoff dreams alive here by that third place finish. So next week, it looks like we're going to Kansas. A little bit of a different lane choice out there at Kansas. What do you have for that place?
Yeah, going back to my old backyard of Kansas. Well, I mean, it's not my backyard, but decent running there, I think, during the spring race. Didn't have the finish to show for it, but I feel like we showed some decent speed in the spring race, and with both races being held during the day, I think we got a decent idea as to what to expect for that race. But going to be down at Kansas for the race weekend here coming up, and so not going to have a ton of time to be able to turn some laps, but hopefully we can get us some practice before next Monday night event gets started, and see if we can keep a top 5 finish streak going here.
Well, congrats on that third place finish tonight. And do you have anybody you want to thank before we send you back to your team?
Well, of course, all the guys down at Bandit, with Bandit 1, 2, 3 tonight, with Merck and Justin there finishing ahead of me there. We definitely pushed ourselves, I think, pretty good to do good tonight and start off the playoffs with a good result. And I noticed that some other playoff competitors had some struggles tonight, so that was fortunate for us anyways to just kind of stay up towards the front and stay out of trouble for the most part. But of course, got to thank all the
that's why you're in the Miller Fortune car. There you go.
The Miller Misfortune, absolutely.
Yeah,
so
Miller Misfortune.
Greg, I got to tell you, when we saw that paint early in the race, if I remembered, because my memory sucks these days, if I remembered that we did the Hooters logo in the Fortune logo, I would have definitely thrown an unfortunate logo across the back of that car there.
Yeah, had a shot anyway, Scott, and you didn't take it. So I mean, there's always the next paint job to look forward to, I guess. But nevertheless, gotta thank you, Scott, for an awesome paint job and doing all the playoff banners for everyone in this league. And gotta thank all the friends and family back home that are watching and all their support. This is definitely going to be a fun last few weeks here of the season. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us, Greg Mullen. Good luck to you next week.
Appreciate it, guys.
Here we are with second place runner-up finish, Justin Michael, rounding out the top 3 sweep of Bandit Motorsports here at Darlington. How'd your race go tonight, Justin? Talk to me about the tire strategy. And I got to admit, about halfway through, I was concerned with you being about 9 seconds off the pace of Jeff Merck. That's kind of unlike you, but how did tonight meet your expectations in terms of a win or not a win, and then looking forward to the rest of the playoff series with a potential second place here tonight?
Well, he was 9 seconds ahead because we were saving gas. We could have made it a one more stop. He couldn't have. Or at least we were a quarter lap short, which we could have drifted that, if we had ran out of gas off 4. So, but no, we definitely had a long run car. We were a lot faster. Half a second lap faster than him on the long run. But the short runs, he definitely had the car to beat. We just came in tonight looking for good points. I'm not going to be here next week, so I just want to make sure I get some points. Bonus points should help, so just to carry me through this round. So I think, 2 or 3 more points if I would have won, so it was definitely a good points night.
Sounds good. It certainly was, especially with other point contenders such as Wes Holland having issues. Looks like speeding on pit road caught him off guard. Some other playoff contenders having issues with incidents tonight. So certainly a great points night for the Bandit Motorsports Beretta Toyota Camry of Justin Michael. What do you got going? Well, I would say normally next week at Kansas, but correct me if I'm wrong, you're going to be at the race. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll be driving back that night, so I'll hop on a laptop, do a starting park, probably just one lap to make sure I get some points to start, and that's about it, unless something drastic changes.
Sounds good. You going there with anybody? Are you meeting somebody out there too, or no?
Yeah, I'll be out there with Greg.
With Greg? Okay, Greg Mall. So Greg might miss the race too, but here's what I want to do from the Multi-League Racing Network. You, if you're not going to be racing Monday night, you at least got to send me your seat number, because I've been wanting to do this project where we take seat numbers from actual fans that go to the race, and we put cameras in the stands rather, for the fans from actual people that are at the race. I think it's kind of a cool feature. So we have that customizability, if that's a word, but nonetheless, great run here, second place. Let's look at 2 weeks forward from at Bristol. Obviously, you have a lot of bonus points to carry you probably through the Kansas race. What do you got looking forward to Bristol in 2 weeks from now?
Just staying out of trouble. No incidents. Run up top, run up front, maybe get a top 5, and we'll call that a win there. Not really that good at that track.
Certainly, if there's somebody that knows how to put a race together from start to finish, and put a season together for that matter, from start to finish, know their limitations, know how to take what the car will give you at any given weekend, it's Justin Michael. I appreciate that, and I respect that strategy. I think you're going to be obviously a huge contender here for the title when it comes down to it at Phoenix. We look forward to that, and good luck here the next couple weeks. Have fun in Kansas, and we'll talk to you either that night for a little bit, or if not, from Bristol the following week. Congrats on second place here, Justin.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you 2 weeks.
Yep, congrats. Well, there was Justin Michael, and I think next up will be our race winner.
Next up,
Jeffrey
winner, Jeff Merck. Winner, chicken dinner. I'm going to double down here, Merck, and I'm going to say, and I think you can be with me here, that the adjustments we made today on the car, I told you owed me a bourbon, but I think we're going to go with, I'm going to double down and say, 2 bourbons now with the checkered flag. What do you think?
2 bourbons, sure. I mean, I think if we end up going on that cruise, I think all the bourbon's free anyway, so I'll buy you as many as you want.
Bourbons on
all
Jeff
bourbons
Mark
on me
week.
for a week. How's that sound?
I'll admit I was on a cruise, so we didn't broadcast last week from Daytona because I was on a cruise myself to Bermuda, from New York to Bermuda, on a 6-day cruise. It was awesome, and the drinks were on the house all week long. I tried to use that joke, and it kind of ran out of steam after like day 2.
The bartenders just start rolling their eyes at you. Yeah, we've been there. I was like, oh, drink's on me, and the bartender's like, just shut up and drink your drink.
Exactly. Nonetheless, win number 5 on the season, Jeff Merck. I gotta give it to you, man. And you can listen to the broadcast because you can hear me talk about in the beginning of this race. I knew you were the dominant car. You're the pole sitter on the race. Put in a lot of
what
practice.
He's trying to say is we didn't have any faith in you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the short version of the story. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Practice, I was kind of sandbagging a little bit. I didn't want to give away anything I picked up, so that my qualifying lap was an actual me driving it. So I got down into 1s. I ran like I think 4s and 5s in practice. That way I wasn't really driving it that hard, because I didn't want to give away anything. This is the playoffs. I didn't do that great during the regular season, but playoffs is a totally different creature. You reset and then you go get them now, and I got a bunch of good tracks coming up that I really like to run. So we'll see what we can do.
Sounds good. I gotta ask you, how much confidence did you have about a third of the way through the race, maybe halfway or so? You had a 9-second lead on Justin Michael, who's obviously always competitive at every single track it seems like we go to, with 10 wins on the season. With a 9-second lead on him, he claimed that he could make it if it had gone green flag on one other fuel stop, but you could not.
Yeah,
did you know that was the active strategy? Or
I kind of knew. I was doing the math in my head. Him and Wes hit it, I think, at 37, and I figured that was probably their max, or they would have ran 38. So I was doing the math in my head, and by my math, he was 2 laps short. Because 37 times 3 is
You can always trust Jeff Merck math.
111. So that's what I was going off of. But there, that second run, I was kind of like, you know, if he really, really saves, and I was pushing really hard at that point where I was like, okay, if he can make 38 and 38, he's really going to have to slow down his pace and save. So if I push really hard, you know, I might have to push him to push hard enough to where he runs out a half a lap short and then instead of a quarter. So
he was holding up a whole line of cars. If you watch the broadcast, you'll see him there. He was holding up like 10 cars back there for a long time, and I was wondering what the heck was going on.
yeah, I kept looking up at my my pit box, and it has a little track and shows you where all the cars at. And I saw I was about third of a lap ahead of him, and I was like, well, if I run this pace, even if he does save, I can, you know, I'll go, okay, if we would have stayed green, I would have probably pit at 33 to go maybe, and then that way I could run even harder and try to run him down or force him to use more fuel than he wanted to. But that caution came out, negated all that, and we went out and got check flag here at Darlington.
Certainly, talking about what do you got going for the future of the playoffs here? Looking at Kansas going forward and Bristol after that?
Oh, yeah, we got Kansas, Bristol. I think Homestead is another playoff race. All three of those tracks I love. So I'm planning on, if it's anything I can control, I plan on stringing some wins together, get in the Final Four, and see what we can pull off in Phoenix. See if we can get another trophy for the medal.
I'll tell you, the trophy, I can tell you from experience, Jeff, the trophy is a good one. I'm looking at it right now on my trophy shelf here. It's a doozy.
Yeah, I don't think we have any concerts lined up this year, so I won't hopefully miss any races there in like the final 8 and knock myself out of the playoffs. So we'll see what happens.
Speaking of, you know what's ironic about this, Jeff Merck? If I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong, was it not a Jason Aldean concert last year?
It was, yeah.
It was a Jason Aldean concert that you went to, and you missed a playoff race, I believe, at Martinsville.
I'm not sure. All I know is I missed one, and I know it knocked me out of the playoffs. That's all I remember.
Yes, it was at Martinsville, which knocked you out of the playoffs.
Like 3 or 4 points, I think, still, even with me missing a race, but 3 or 4 points is as good as 100. So,
the ironic thing I was going to mention, Mark, is this Friday night, I'm going to see Jason Aldean up north here in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah, he puts on a hell of a show. You won't be disappointed. So, you know, he does a really good show. But you'll enjoy it, I'm sure.
Looking forward to it. Win number 5 on the season. Anybody to thank? Obviously, your lovely bride who's been in the chat with us most of the night here, pulling for you.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely always start off with the loving wife inside. I know I went at Patented Paints really late today and told him that it was September is a PCOS awareness month. That's polycystic ovary syndrome. That is one of the leading causes of not being able to have kids, whatever the hell that word is. I drew a blank.
Infertility,
yes, infertility in women. So September is PCOS Awareness Month. That's for my wife. She has that disorder, so she wanted it on there because it kind of matched the color scheme anyway. So we threw it on the 2 rear quarter panels for her. Baby, I love you. This one's for you. Stone River Outfitters, Matt, all the guys up there in the Northeast at StoneRiverOutfitters.com. Look those guys up for all your fly tying and fly fishing needs. The premier fly tying shop in the Northeast. If you're up that way, go to their brick and mortar shop. Look those guys up. Multi-League Racing Network, Scott Patton, Ken Huber, you boys always do a hell of a job. I look forward to going back watching the race. Kim Quick, all the admins over here at Multi-League, they do a great job. And then like 22 a day. On average, we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide. If you know any veterans that's struggling with their wounds, the ones you can and cannot see, just sit down, talk to them, get them help. 22 is way too many. Darlington Raceway. I love this place. Love racing here. Virtual Darlington. I'm glad they let us come here and race. Stone River Outfitters. Invested, owned, and operated. Great group of guys own that. I think I got everybody. I look forward to going back watch the broadcast.
Sounds good. I think you'll enjoy this one, Jeff Mark, as he dominated all day long from the pole. Win number 5 on the season. Congrats. I would say automatically, if it were the Cup Series, the actual Cup Series, you'd be advancing to the next round automatically, but that is not the case here in the multi-league. So you still got to point your way in, but off to a great start here, better than any other driver in the field with number 5. Congrats, Jeff Mark, here at Darlington. Tamed the track, too tough to tame. Congrats, and go celebrate, have a burden for me, and we'll talk to you next week from Kansas.
Absolutely. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night.
See you, Jeff. There it is, Ken. What do we think from Darlington? Pretty exciting race. Saw a couple of incidents, a little fuel mileage strategy, and great finish there. Great race between Jeff Mark and Justin Michael side by side there for a couple laps during the pit cycles. And what do you think about Jeff Mark win number 5 on the season?
Yeah, no, he held it together. He did what at least I was saying I didn't think he could. Once started watching those lap times dwindle down with Justin Michael chasing him down, I was afraid he was going to cave, but didn't cave. Kept his head about him and was able to pull this one off. So great finish by Jeffrey, and congrats to him. And we'll see what he's got for Kansas next week.
That is Kansas now next week. Same bat station, same bat channel here in the Multi-League Racing Network. You will see us here next Monday night. On behalf of Ken Huber and myself, Scott Patton up here in New Hampshire, Ken's out in Montana, enjoying the weather, and we will see you next week. Good night, everybody. Have a good week, and talk to you next Monday night. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone.